the Damodar Aarti programs, they begin from tomorrow or they begin today?
From tomorrow, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
From
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
Prabhuji.
And then every day it is what time?
Uh,
Is it
See,
like 6 to
only
9?
tomorrow one program schedule we have received, Prabhuji. It is like on the daily basis we will receive.
Okay, daily basis you will receive. Okay. And typically that would be like complete evening, right? It takes the complete evening.
Yeah, last year we didn't had much of the programs, Prabhuji. Sometimes on the weekends only, because many of us are working.
Right.
So for tomorrow, we have a schedule. Otherwise,
Yes.
may not be there.
Okay. Okay. Fine, Prabhu. I
Generally
just
starts evening 7 like that. So
evening
evening
7.
7 to
And
8:30.
then, okay. Fine, fine. I just thought I'll get some ideas. So fine, I'll check with Braj Prakash Prabhu and then whatever is the schedule will be made known to everyone. Okay.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Fine. So now we are proceeding to the next chapter, which is also very important chapter in this series of first 6 chapters. The chapter is entitled Transcendental Knowledge. Traditionally, the chapter is named as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. This chapter speaks about the aspect of jnana and also the karma sannyas. Of course, jnana yoga involves karma sannyas, so it is also part of, you could say, jnana only. But here, there are also some aspects of jnana which is pertaining to Krishna's appearance and purpose of Krishna's appearance. This is also mentioned. It is not only the impersonalistic kind of jnana or the path of jnana yoga, but there is also jnana which is transcendental knowledge about the Supreme Lord and his purpose, his appearance, all that is mentioned also here. So, first part of this chapter is actually where Krishna speaks the glory of and the glory of this knowledge and also the tradition of this knowledge, how this knowledge that Krishna is going to speak uh, is firmly based upon proper tradition, and it was before also disseminated by Krishna in proper tradition. So Krishna speaks about himself actually in the first uh, about 15 verses or so. uh. So till now you can say Krishna has not spoken so much about himself. So this is the first chapter where Krishna speaks about the nature of his appearance, the purpose of his appearance. Uh, so you can see that this is, in this sense, this is a knowledge about the Supreme Lord, and it's the profound basis of Bhakti Yoga, uh, knowledge of Krishna and Krishna's appearance. Although the Jnanis also have this knowledge, it is a knowledge which is common to all the paths. But still, we see that the Bhakti yogis, they take this particular aspect prominently in their life. So, overall, Bhagavad Gita's theme, that Krishna is trying to inspire Arjuna to fight, right? So, here in this chapter also, Krishna continues that theme from verse 16. First 1 to 15, it may appear like a related topic actually. It's not the main topic. Although it is a very important topic because it is knowledge about Krishna, Krishna's personality, Krishna's purpose of appearance. So it is, in a way, main topic only. But in the context of Gita, because we know in this particular first 6 chapters, what is Krishna trying to do? He's trying to inspire Arjuna to fight on the level of Nishkam Karma Yoga. So for that purpose, he speaks and he If Arjuna wants to speak about Jnana Yoga, then Krishna says, no, you should fight to set the example. If Arjuna speaks about Karma Kand or like that, then he says that, well, yes, if you want, you can fight on the level of Karma Kand also, but not Jnana Yoga, because that's the path of Karma Sannyas. So this is an underlying theme that's there in the series of Bhagavad Gita chapters here. So in between, this section of transcendental knowledge is coming, where Krishna speaks about in a way, the glory of this knowledge and the qualification to understand this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Uh, how he comes and disseminates this knowledge. Uh, so all this is you could say, a prelude, and then he continues from verse 16. He continues the same theme then, that how you should not perform Jnana Yoga, but you should perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. And then he compares also Nishkam Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga in the next part. So, in this way, just give me a minute. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is the session getting recorded? Right? It is getting recorded. Yes. Anyone? I think
Yes, Prabhuji.
it
Yes,
is
Prabhuji, it
getting.
is recorded. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see the screen. This is chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge about Krishna, 4.1 to 15. So I was saying that this topic comes as, a topic which is related. Hmm. While this is the theme that's going on in these chapters, action of a Nishkam Karma Yogi, kind of Krishna brings back the topic there. Hmm. In between, these first 15 verses is sort of a related topic, although the contents there are very, very important. What Krishna is speaking is like, it's like pure. Yeah, there is some issue actually. I'm getting disconnected today. So hope this issue will be resolved, I think. Twice I got disconnected. So that's how, in the last part, sacrifices and jnana will be explained. So you can see transcendental knowledge The spiritual knowledge of the soul, of God, and their relationship is both purifying and liberating. So such knowledge is the fruit of selfless devotion action. That's why Krishna is glorifying knowledge in this particular chapter, because karma yoga will also finally lead to jnana. It will lead to jnana, meaning this understanding that I am not the body, I am the spirit soul, this particular understanding, like that. So what all Lord explains in this chapter? The remote history of the Gita, the purpose and significance of his periodic descents to the material world, and finally, the necessity of approaching a guru or a realized teacher. So you can see these topics are quite relevant for bhakti also. And that's why Prabhupada connects this topic to the bhakti very much. And he gives very devotional conclusions. So here also, Krishna, in this chapter, he continues the theme of Nishkam Karma Yoga, like that. So that's what we will see now. Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavana Hama Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manurikshva Kave Bravit. Okay. Anyone who wants to read, they have not read in prior sessions and they want to volunteer for reading. Yes, anyone?
I can read, Prabhuji.
You can read. All right. Yes, Prabhu, please read. So you can continue now for this section reading as and when I tell you to read.
Sure, Prabhuji. So, the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god, Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu, in turn, instructed it to
Ikshvaku.
Ishwaku. Yeah, Ishwaku.
Thank you. So, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bhagavan is continuing. So we can see just now Krishna has ended the topic of the lust, right? How lust is the obstacle on the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, and that's why Jahi Shatrum Mahabaho Kama Rupam Durasadam. Krishna has asked Arjuna to conquer this enemy called as lust. So now then suddenly he starts speaking about Vivasvan and how he gave knowledge to Vivasvan, and Vivasvan gave it to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. So it may appear like, what's the relation between these two topics? How come suddenly he is speaking about these things? So, actually, having completed the topic of that lust as the obstacle on the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, Krishna, what he does is, he speaks the glory of this particular knowledge, that how this knowledge is the knowledge by tradition. Uh, Krishna has spoken this knowledge even before to great personalities. And it is in parampara system, although Krishna is only the root of that parampara. Uh, Actually, he doesn't have to necessarily quote it as that this knowledge is authentic knowledge, it is coming in parampara and all, because if he is speaking something, that's it. That is good enough for the veracity of the knowledge. That is self-effulgent knowledge. But then still, he is himself showing the glory of this knowledge by telling how this knowledge comes in the tradition, in the disciplic succession, from succession of the guru to disciple, then disciple to, further this chain of disciplic succession. So for that purpose, Krishna is speaking this section. Then he comes back to the original discussion again in text 16, as we said, this way. Having established the glory of this knowledge, the purpose of his appearance in order to disseminate this knowledge, having speaking all these things, then he comes back. So that's the purpose over here. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Sri Bhagavan said, Imam yogam aham vivasvate proktavan. This particular yoga, this knowledge that I'm going to speak to you now, uh, this jnana yoga that Krishna is going to speak, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, you could say. It's not like Krishna spoke exactly Bhagavad Gita to Vivasvan, but he spoke this knowledge. This same knowledge he spoke also to Vivasvan in the beginning of, in the beginning of the creation, in the beginning of day of Brahma. So we see that this same knowledge Krishna spoke to Vivasvan. Krishna is telling that this same knowledge, when it is spoken to Arjuna, then it is known as Bhagavad Gita. Now, when it was spoken to Vivasvan, maybe it was, it may have some other name there, but the same knowledge he spoke. We don't have to also assume that he spoke only 700 verses to Vivasvan. Not necessarily. So Krishna is talking about the body of knowledge here, not exactly that he spoke 700 verses only and this, all that. So he spoke, Imam Yogam, Krishna is saying, that's why. I spoke about this yoga, the knowledge of this aspects like Nishkam Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and all of this. I spoke it to Vivasvan in the beginning. This knowledge is Avyayam. Prabhupada translates Avyayam as imperishable science, imperishable knowledge. This knowledge is not something which is just coming from magical hat of somebody. It's an imperishable knowledge which time to time Krishna reveals to various personalities. Vivasvan manave praha. Vivasvan, he spoke it to his son Vaivasvata Manu. And then Manu spoke it to one of his sons called Ikshvaku. So basically, Lord Krishna is speaking this knowledge, the tradition of this knowledge, where he spoke it to Vivasvan. And this particular Manvantara's Manu is Vaivasvata Manu. This is the 7th Manvantara. So this particular Manu is son of Vivasvan. It's not that in every Manvantara the Manu is son of Vivasvan. Not necessarily. In the first Manvantara, Manu is son of Brahma, Swayambhuva Manu. Right. Then later we see that second, third, fourth, fifth also, the Manus, they are sons of son of Swayambhu Manu. So, Tamas Manu or Raivata Manu. So we see that these are all actually grandsons of Manu. These Manus, we see that they are grandsons of Brahmaji. They are not necessarily, we see that the sons of Brahmaji, like Swayambhu Manu is son, but then Swayambhu Manu's children, Uttanapad and all of them, so we see that they in turn become the cause of further Manus, like that. So anyway, don't worry about that. That's 8th canto. It's there mentioned. Here we are talking about Vaivasvat Manu is the Manu of 7th Manvantar. That's the point. So Vaivasvat Manu, he is son of Vivasvan. So Vivasvan spoke to him. And Mahabharata explains that this knowledge by Vivasvan was spoken to Manu in the beginning of Treta Yuga. And then Manu spoke it to Ikshvaku again, immediately to his son, Ikshvaku. So in terms of when did Krishna exactly speak to Vivaswan, we don't have much information of that. Did Krishna speak it in exactly in the beginning of first Divya Yuga, or all that? We are not aware of it. See, I'm sure you are aware of these calculations of time, right? So you can see this. So you can see this is Brahma's full lifespan, right? That you can see. Just a minute. So this is Brahma's full lifespan, creation to full devastation, right? So how many years Brahmaji lives? 100 years. Now in that, in those 100 years of Brahma, there is one day, Kalpa, that is known as Kalpa, one day of Brahma. So typically that one day, you can understand, like that he has 360 days in a year, and like that he lives for 100 years. So this particular Kalpa, one day of Brahma, we can see that it is typically made up of 1,000 Divya Yugas. One day of Brahma. It's made up of 1,000 days of Brahma. This Brahma's day. I'm just sorry. I'm just getting disturbed by some noise here. Okay. So I was speaking. Yeah, day of Brahma. One day of Brahma has 1,000 Chaturyugas, and similarly, Brahma has a night also like that. So Brahma's 24 hours are actually 2,000 Divya Yugas. Divya Yuga is a Yuga cycle. You combine Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. You add up all this. That becomes one Divya Yuga or one Chatur Yuga, you could say. It means the same. So Brahma has 1,000 Chatur Yugas in 12 hours, and then 1,000 Chatur Yugas in 12 hours of his night also. In this way. So when we are talking about day of Brahma, we basically mean 12 hours only. We are not talking about the 12 hours of night. We are only speaking about 12 hours of day. So in a day of Brahma, we see in the 12 hours, there are 14 Manvantaras. So they have been shown over here. 14 Manvantaras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These ones. So in one Manvantara called the seventh Manvantara, we see that Manu is actually son of Vivaswan. So in the beginning of this Manvantara, we see that Lord Krishna speaks the knowledge to Vivaswan, this particular knowledge. And then Vivaswan speaks it to his son Vaivasvata Manu. And then Vaivasvat Manu speaks to his sons. He has 10 sons. One of them is Ikshvaku. So he speaks to Ikshvaku. So that Mahabharata says that this knowledge was spoken to Ikshvaku in the beginning of the Treta Yuga. In the beginning of this particular Treta Yuga that we have. So in this Manvantara, which is one Manvantara out of 14, right? There are 71 Divya Yugas. There are 71 Chatur Yugas. So in that, we are in 28th Chatur Yuga. We meaning right now this Kali Yuga that we are in, right? It is basically the 28th cycle. Out of 71, this one is 28th. So you can see the rest of the cycles are still going to come in this Manvantara. This way. So this calculation is telling you that. So in this particular Manvantar, we see that Krishna has, Krishna spoke basically to Vivaswan, Vivaswan spoke to Manu, Manu spoke to Ikshvaku. And then in this Manvantara, towards the end of the Dwapar Yuga, Krishna also again spoke it to Arjuna. So he had spoken before to Vivaswan. Vivaswan spoke to Manu. Manu spoke to Ikshvaku. But then we see that what happened was this knowledge was, because each one of these yugas, that they have very long durations, right? Uh, 4 yugas is 4.32 million years. So in that Kali Yuga is 4 lakh 32,000 years. Dwapar is before that, Treta is before that. So many years passed, and in that the knowledge appears to have been lost for some time. So that's why Krishna again spoke to Arjuna, like that, this knowledge. So although within the same Manvantara, the knowledge Krishna spoke to Vivaswan and Vivaswan spoke to Manu and all, but due to the influence of time, that knowledge or the succession was broken, and that's why Krishna is speaking to Arjuna over here again. So Krishna will speak that aspect in the next verse. But yeah, this is how you can understand the knowledge Krishna keeps on speaking to these prominent personalities time to time, because sometimes that knowledge may get broken due to influence of time. So we can see here Krishna is saying, herein we find the history of the Bhagavad Gita traced from a remote time when it was delivered to the royal order of all planets, beginning from the sun planet. So this particular parampara that Krishna is speaking is a parampara of Rajarshis. It is not like we also hear about 4 paramparas, right? There is Brahma parampara, there is Shri parampara, then there is Kumar. Sampradayas, I am speaking about basically sampradayas. So there is Brahma Sampradaya, there is Shri Sampradaya, there is Kumar Sampradaya, there is Rudra Sampradaya. So that is one kind of disciplic succession. But this is not that disciplic succession that Krishna is speaking in this verse. He is speaking the disciplic succession of Rajarshis, the kings. So Krishna, he gives the knowledge through paramparas, Guru Shishya parampara, but he also gives the knowledge through Rajarshis. These are all royal orders, but these are very special personalities. Rajarshi personalities like Vivaswan or Manu or Ikshvaku, they are Raja and Rishi both. Raja plus Rishi becomes Rajarshi. So meaning they have the capacity of running a kingdom also, and then they have also the capacity of being a sage and instructing the spiritual knowledge. Uh, so that is the Raja and Rishi. He is both. He is a king and he is also a Rishi, a sage. So these sort of devotees like Yudhishthir, like Ambarish, Prahlad, these are all great Rajashis. Or here also we see Vivaswan and Vaivasvat Manu, Ikshvaku Maharaj. Uh, they're all great Rajashis. And Krishna gives the knowledge of contents of Bhagavad Gita even to these personalities. And that is passed down by that parampara of Rajarshis also, like that. In fact, it's important that Rajarshis also take this knowledge, right? We see that when the Brahminical power and the Kshatriya power comes together, then we see that it's very, very easy to grow the cause of religion. See, the Buddhism was not spreading much because there were mainly renounced sages in Buddhism. But when Emperor Ashoka, when Emperor Ashoka became a king, when Emperor Ashoka became a king who accepted Buddhism, he became a Buddhist king. So then we see that Buddhism practically spread like wildfire in India, isn't it? So we see that this aspect of the royalty or this aspect of administrators coming together with the intellectuals, the Brahmanas, everywhere in history also we see that this aspect. So it's very, very important that the intellectual Brahmanas and the powerful Kshatriyas, they come together, and then there can be great preaching that can happen. Even Christianity also, you know that for first 3 centuries they were being persecuted. But when this Constantine became a Christian king, then we see that Christianity grew like anything. It just spread everywhere this way. So this is a common factor. Kshatra Teja, Brahma Teja. The power of the Brahmanas and the power of Kshatriyas, then we see that it's very, it's a very good recipe for preaching Krishna consciousness, God consciousness this way. So Krishna also, that's why gave this knowledge not only to the great sages, but he also gave it to the royal order. And then these royal order, they passed it down to the further generations this way. So Prabhupada says that it's important that the royal order takes this. Human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge in eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the executive heads of all states and all planets are obliged to impart this lesson to the citizens by education, culture, and devotion. Such beautiful words, right? See, we need education, we need culture, and we need devotion. So education, the aspect of scriptural education, spiritual as well as material education is needed, but it should not be just only intellectual. There should also be the cultural aspect, like in Bhakti. Prabhupada also in Krishna consciousness movement, he always spoke about aspect of education and culture both. And then we should remember that this education and culture, we should never miss the essential part of the devotion in that. Otherwise, what happens after some time, the education or the culture, they may lose this quintessence of devotion. And they may just be seen as streams of knowledge or streams of some sort of culture. No, it should be devotionally centered. Uh, Devotion should be the center of all this education and culture. So especially the Kshatriyas, they make it happen very much because they have power, they have influence. Uh, so we see that even in all the times actually, when the government or the administrative heads, they take the aspect of bhakti seriously, then we can see that so much of change can be brought in. So that's why it's important that the leaders of the society, they are preached Krishna consciousness to, and they are, the intellectual class, the class which is powerful, they should be always preached to, and then they can influence so much. It's not like we don't have, we share Krishna consciousness with everyone, but then still, we should share it in a way that it is most influential also. Uh, Krishna also is saying in the previous chapter, Yad Yad Acharati Sreshthas. So if we can get a moon instead of hundreds of stars, then we can see that the moon can influence so much. So everybody is welcome in Krishna consciousness, no problem. But still, with the limited time and resources, the choice we have. So it's also important that what is our focus of preaching. So that's why ISKCON, you see that it preaches to very educated people, people who are very influential in the society. They are well-to-do people. They are very smart and intelligent people. ISKCON obviously wants to preach to everyone, but the point is that, see, you have to influence the leaders, and then they in turn will bring in so many people because of their influence that way. So that's how Krishna is also speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, right? Who was such an influential figure. He was the best warrior of that lot. Uh, and Krishna is speaking to him the Bhagavad Gita. Or even before he spoke to Vivaswan. So all these very influential personalities. Vivaswan is, the king of the sun planet, sun god Vivaswan. So he is considered to be actually the origin of all the planets. Sun god has a very, very special place because we know that sun maintains the life in this world. So that's why Krishna is choosing such important personalities to speak Bhagavad Gita to. And he in turn then gave it to this parampara of Rajarshis. So in this way, Krishna wants to say that the Gita is not there for a speculative treatise for the insignificant mundane scholar, but it's a standard book of knowledge coming down from time immemorial. This is the purpose of bringing up this topic, that it's not like this knowledge is Krishna is just speaking to Arjuna here on the battlefield. No, this is imperishable science, and Krishna has even spoken this before also to great personalities, and it is coming in that parampara which shows its authenticity. So Prabhupada has quoted these verses from Mahabharata, where it is mentioned, in the beginning of the millennium known as Treta Yuga, this science of the relationship with the Supreme was delivered by Vivaswan to Manu. Manu then spoke it to Maharaj Ikshvaku, and then further, like that. We know that in the dynasty of Maharaj Ikshvaku only, Lord Ramachandra appeared. Sri Ram appeared in his dynasty only. So Prabhupada says, therefore, Bhagavad Gita existed in human society from the time of Maharaj Ikshvaku. So especially in the human realm, because the realm of, you can say, Vivaswan is not considered human, it is celestial realm. Or even Swayambhu Manu also. He does not stay on this planet. His realm is also considered beyond earthly realm. But then after that, we see, after Manu, Bhagavad Gita and the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is spoken to Ikshvaku and all. So at least from the time of Ikshvaku, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is there, Prabhupada is saying. So Prabhupada gives this complete calculation. We have seen this through the PPT. So any of you want to go through these numbers and all, you may do so. By maths, Prabhupada is giving some maths over here. You can see the every yuga's calculation, and then add that to Chatur Yuga, and then add such 71 Chatur Yugas. That gives you the period of the Manu. So like that, accordingly, these things are spoken. So that's what the point is, that this knowledge is imperishable. It is eternal knowledge which is revealed by Krishna time to time. Since the Vedic instructions are accepted as they are without human interpretation, the Gita must therefore be accepted without mundane interpretation. So because this is authentic eternal knowledge, so Prabhupada is saying that it should not be explained with some mundane interpretation. One should look at the tradition. There are so many commentators who want to explain Bhagavad Gita, but they never ever want to look at the tradition. They would write books like My Gita. Who cares My Gita, right? I mean, we care about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita as it is. My Gita, your Gita, how does it matter? We can write anything on that, right? So you see that because this knowledge is from the tradition, so without referencing the tradition, any effort of interpretation, Prabhupada would be very, very upset with that. That's why he writes like that. Sometimes he writes very strongly against these interpretations, which because they don't refer to the tradition. Uh, Many times they are their own mental wranglings of these people, and they don't refer to the tradition. Hmm. So, what was the reason that Krishna had to speak this knowledge now here at the battlefield? Was that parampara broken in some way? So, Krishna says, yes, yes. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakalene hamahata yogo nashtah parantapa. Yes, Prabhu.
This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost.
Okay, thank you. So, evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. So, in this way, this knowledge, it was received in parampara. Huh? Parampara praptam. Parampara praptam. And imam rajarshayo vidu. And all these rajarshis, they learnt it in that fashion. But what happened? Sa mahata kalena. Time is like so powerful that after some time, due to the powerful influence of the time, this yogo nashtaha, this knowledge of this yoga, it became nashtaha means it not like it was destroyed, but basically it became it was not very prominent then. Then the knowledge appears to be lost, sort of. You cannot destroy the knowledge, but the knowledge was lost actually. It was not available. Uh, so this happens due to influence of the various factors, kala, demoniac civilizations, or other factors. In fact, Krishna is speaking here, you can see in Dwapar Yuga. And in Dwapar Yuga, he is saying that due to the powerful time, the knowledge was lost. So meaning it was lost in yugas like Treta Yuga and all, which are like much, much better than Kali Yuga, right? Kali Yuga is very pathetic. But the other yugas, they are very great yugas. But even there, Krishna is saying that this knowledge was, it seems to be lost. So, material world, we see that there will always be influence of time over here. Uh, in material world, the things dwindle after some time. Mm. Preserving a tradition and all, it is always a challenge. It's not that easy. Although in prior yugas, it was much easier. In Kali Yuga, it becomes a very, very great challenge because hardly anyone is interested. But still, you see, material world is a place where there will always be the challenges of preserving the tradition. That's why it's very important that we do our role in preserving the knowledge, preserving the tradition. If we ourselves become very indifferent towards preserving this knowledge, then we see the force of time will cause this knowledge to be lost, isn't it? How much it becomes important as students of Krishna consciousness that we learn this knowledge, first of all, ourselves very nicely, and we play our small role in preserving this tradition by teaching it to others or by becoming instruments to teach it to others by sharing Krishna consciousness, connecting people to Srila Prabhupada's books. Uh, so it's very, very important that this aspect is taken very, very nicely. It's our own responsibility like that. So that's why if we will not study the books, if we will not understand, if we will not preach, तो फिर तो in just next 100-200 years, you may wonder, okay, where is the knowledge gone, right? We see that there is so much of rapid degradation that is happening. So even the previous books of acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, if as ISKCON, if we don't take that responsibility to preserve, you know, I mean, others, they don't have even the kind of people that ISKCON has and the power and the money, the resources by which they can preserve this tradition. One time I was talking to a Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya in Kolkata, and he was saying that actually, as followers of Srila Prabhupada, if you people cannot do it, what is the hope for the world? He said. So he said, it is, I mean, everybody is hopeful from you that ISKCON devotees, they will take care of our tradition, they will take care of the books of our tradition, this knowledge, this wisdom, this way. So that's why, yes, we always remain, enthusiastic about this particular responsibility of learning this knowledge very nicely and also sharing it with others. So our own learning also should not stop. There is so much to learn, so much to understand deeply. Not like, okay, we understood something fundamental, so now that's it, that is good enough. So there is certainly important factor of practice, but even to understand the nuances, subtle points of practice, we have to also be a perpetual student and learn more and more. So you can see Krishna is re-establishing this tradition through speaking through Arjuna, uh, speaking to Arjuna, he's re-establishing because the time, probably powerful time, had influenced in such a way that the knowledge may be lost sometimes. So even in the four sampradayas, no, you can see we talk about those four traditions. And then in our tradition also, we may speak Brahma is the Acharya who begins this tradition. But then after Brahma, we have Narada, and then after Narada, Vyasa, and then directly we may see Madhvacharya in that tradition. So now Vyasa Dev to Madhvacharya, it is like huge time in between, right? Vyasadeva appeared in Dwapar Yuga. Madhvacharya appeared in what, 1277 or so, 13th century basically. So what has happened? We see that there is such a huge gap between that. So what happens is oftentimes we see that this influence of time, it causes some breakage in that knowledge. So Madhvacharya himself saw that the right message of Bhagavad Gita, it was practically not seen. It was practically lost. Maybe few people here, there, few devotees, they were there, but still it was practically like lost. So then we see that Shripad Madhvacharya, he received the knowledge by going to Badrikashram. He pleased Shripad Vyasadeva, and then he directly received the knowledge from Vyasadeva. And then further, then the tradition is continuing down this way. So this is the point that Krishna is also speaking. 5,000 years ago, it was detected by the Lord himself that the disciplic succession was broken. And therefore, he declared that the purpose of Gita appeared to be lost. And Prabhupada gives such a nice relevance of this in today's day and time. In the same way, at the present moment also, there are so many editions of the Gita, especially in English. But almost all of them are not according to authorized disciplic succession. So that same influence where the knowledge, the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita appears to be lost, Prabhupada saw that sort of scenario when he went to the Western world. There were more than 700 commentaries that were present in English, but none of them was presenting the message as it is. So Prabhupada is sort of showing the resemblance of that situation that So many commentaries, but they are not touching the message of Krishna. Maybe some devotees in India, like the Gaudiyas or the traditional Sri Vaishnavas, or like all of them, they were knowing, of course, the real message of Gita. But Prabhupada is saying overall, especially in the world scenario of the world, although Gita was very popular in the Western world, extremely popular, and there were 750 commentaries on Gita in English at Prabhupada's time. Later, it has multiplied even further. But Prabhupada saw that almost all of them are not according to authorized disciplic succession. So that's why he says that he named the commentary as Bhagavad Gita as it is. In fact, the commentators were very upset with Prabhupada for giving that title as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So then I told you that Prabhupada said, yes, it is as it is. It is not as I want it to be, or as you want it to be. No. So it is a similar situation, and that's why Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is re-establishing the standard of Bhagavad Gita's true message this way. So Prabhupada says, there are innumerable interpretations rendered by different mundane scholars, but almost all of them do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, although they make a good business on the words of Sri Krishna. By saying Gita, they will get their books sold off very nicely. But the message has nothing to do with Krishna. How is this spirit? This spirit is demonic, Prabhupada says. Because demons do not believe in God, but simply enjoy the property of the Supreme. It's very demoniac kind of attitude, where you want to use Krishna's book, Gita, but then you want to give your own interpretation to that. So why do we do that? That's terrible, right? Imagine if you are speaking in a certain language, if you're giving a class, suppose you are speaking in Hindi, and if you understand Hindi and English, and the translator, he is translating something which is completely different than what you are speaking. So you being there and understanding both Hindi and English, so that English translation, how it will make you very upset, right? Because you will say, see, come on, I'm not saying these things. Why are you translating like that? I never said such a thing. Because you understand the Hindi also, you understand English also. I'm just giving an example to drive home this point. So similarly, for Prabhupada, who understands the message of Gita, when he sees the interpretations, which are not at all giving Krishna's message, so he becomes very angry. He becomes very upset. That's the reason, because he finds that people are being misled completely. This is not the purpose of Gita, like that, right? Purpose of Gita, you say it's non-violence, or how is that purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Not at all like that. One of the politicians said, if India would have really understood Bhagavad Gita, there would be no Pakistan by now. we we would have completely obliterated Pakistan if we would have really understood the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Now you tell me, is that the spirit of Bhagavad Gita? So I mean, just sort of giving some sort of statements like that, or Gandhiji's explanation of Bhagavad Gita, where Kauravas are like bad qualities, and five Pandavas are like five senses, and there is a battle, allegorical, completely allegorical kind of meaning. So you see, these are all interpretations of Bhagavad Gita which are not in line with the true spirit of Bhagavad Gita. And that's why Prabhupada, he writes with so much of emotion in that. Prabhupada would be very, very upset on this, that you present message of Krishna as it is. Otherwise, you write your own book. Why you are coming to Bhagavad Gita? You will use the name of Bhagavad Gita, but you don't want to follow Krishna's message. It is like trying to enjoy Lord's property without having any regard for Lord. It's like Ravana. Ravana wanted Sita for his own enjoyment. He did not want Rama. Uh, So that's a very, very demoniac, very abominable spirit, no? For us, we want both Sita and Ram. We want to serve them, please them. We want Radha and Krishna both. We want to serve and please them. They are our beloved masters this way. So that's how Prabhupada, sees this particular aspect. What is the qualification for understanding this knowledge? That's the next verse. Who can understand this knowledge? Saevayam maya tedya yoga proktah puratana bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Nitin Prabhu, you want to read? Okay. Shri Padambuj Prabhu.
Yeah, I'll read.
Hare
I'll
Krishna,
read.
Prabhuji.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Nitin Prabhu, continue then.
yes, Prabhuji. That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of the science.
Yes. So, who can understand this knowledge? Krishna is saying in such emphatic words, you can see, Saevayam maya tedya yoga proktah puratana. So that ancient science of yoga, which I spoke before, maya te adya proktah. I am speaking this to you. Why? Why am I speaking to you? Because bhaktosi mein sakha cheti, because you are my devotee and you are my friend. That's why rahasyam hi etaduttamam. That's why I'm giving this confidential secret to you. So actually, I'm choosing you to be the medium of this particular knowledge because you are actually my devotee and you are my friend also. And this is the confidential rahasyam. This is the confidential aspect of understanding this knowledge. If you are not a devotee of Krishna, if you don't want to have those feelings of love and devotion to Krishna, then this knowledge will not become revealed to you. You may understand it intellectually, but still the realization is also a big part in this knowledge. You may understand it, okay, intellectually, now I understand what is Karma Yoga, what is Jnana Yoga, what is Bhakti Yoga, everything clear. But whether that knowledge inspires you to appreciate Krishna, Krishna's personality, Krishna's qualities, and whether it transforms your heart, where you want to, give up all the anarthas and you want to basically dedicate your life in service to Krishna, Krishna's devotees. So that kind of effect will happen if we also are cultivating devotion. So Krishna consciousness is not only theoretical knowledge, it is also the aspect of practice. You have to also practice the knowledge. So initially it's okay, anybody can read Gita. When we distribute Bhagavad Gita in the streets, we don't ask people, are you going to practice? Then only I will give. Otherwise, no. We just give it to everyone, no problem. Let them read, let them understand. But the message of Bhagavad Gita will sink in when you are also practicing the message. Because Bhagavad Gita or spirituality, spiritual subject is an experiential science. Experiential, meaning you have to make yourself the object of experience over here. You have to practice that process and then see for itself whether it is giving the necessary results. Just like you perform experiment externally, you have some test tubes and you put some chemicals and you see, is the liquid turning pink? Uh, in our titrations, I remember, burette and pipette. Uh, so you have to get the pink liquid. So you perform, an experiment on external chemicals and all. Here in bhakti, you have to perform the bhakti process on yourself. This is called as experiential science. And then you see for yourself. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Krishna says, you want to know this rahasya, you have to become my devotee. You have to practice bhakti this way. So we encourage everyone to read Bhagavad Gita and understand it deeply, but it's part of also the process where we start practicing these principles, because it is just not theoretical knowledge. See, if you want to understand quantum mechanics or something like that, it may not need a change in your behavior. uh, but spiritual subject matter needs a change in your behavior, a change in your values, a change in your lifestyle. uh, Then only you will be able to progress a lot in paths of spirituality. Uh, It's unlike the mundane knowledge where it doesn't demand a change in the lifestyle and all, because it is matter, it is material, it is not spirit. But this is spiritual knowledge. It will directly be relevant to your persona. So unless and until you practice it, you're not going to go very far. Although one may have intellectual understanding to some degree, it's okay, it's possible that way. So the defining factor there is Krishna himself is saying that I reveal this knowledge to you, Arjuna, because you are my devotee, you are my friend. So this is the point over here. Krishna is stressing that aspect of bhakti. The Lord selected Arjuna as the recipient of this great science, owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for the demon, it is not possible to understand this great mysterious science. Prabhupada comes back to that point of commentaries. So one may write even commentary on Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita here, especially Bhagavad Gita. So even though one may write some sort of commentary by some sort of intellectual understanding, but if they are not practicing bhakti, then you see that that message will be inconsistent. It will be full of faults in some way or other. Uh, so that's why commentation by the devotees is real, whereas that of the demons is useless. So you see, Prabhupada speaks very strongly on this aspect of commentations. Uh, trying to understand Gita by one's own intellectual prowess. So this is the point. The demonic, however, they do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna's instructions. Prabhupada says, here is a warning about such misleading paths. Krishna is directly telling, why, Arjuna, I am speaking this knowledge, this rahasya, confidential secret to you, because you are my devotee, you are my friend. So Arjuna is especially devotee in the Sakhya rasa. The point is the devotee. Arjuna was friend. So somebody may be in Dasya rasa also. Somebody may be in Vatsalya, Madhurya. But point is the Bhakta, that aspect. Bhakto sime. You are my devotee. And particularly Arjuna is Sakha in that. He's also the friend. So that's why one should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Bhagavad Gita. Now, hearing this, Arjuna develops a question. When Krishna said that I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan. So now Krishna appeared in Dwapar Yuga. Vivaswan he appeared in the beginning of day of Brahma. Right? We talked about that day of Brahma, within that the seventh Manvantara. In that seventh Manvantara, the 28th Divya Yuga Krishna appeared. So it appears like Vivaswan was before only. Vivaswan was right there from the beginning of Brahma's day. But Krishna, he has appeared only in Dwapar Yuga. So what to speak of Vivaswan? Krishna appears to be coming later than even Manu and then even Ikshvaku and all of them. Krishna is appearing only in Dwapar Yuga. Even Ikshvaku appeared in Treta Yuga before. And obviously Manu, we see that Manu is Vaivasvat Manu, this personality. Also, he became Manu in the beginning of Manvantara. And Vivaswan, he's born in the right at the beginning of the day of Brahma. So Arjuna gets this question, how is that you instructed this knowledge to Vivaswan? Because your birth appears to be later and Vivaswan's birth appears to be before. Now, does Arjuna not know that Krishna is eternal personality? But he's asking this question so that Krishna can speak about his eternality. Krishna can speak about how he gives this knowledge time and again. So he's deliberately asking like that. Arjuna, he is also asking certain questions because he is under Lord Krishna's influence over here. So he asks sometimes certain questions which are so that the tattva of Krishna's Leela, Krishna's appearance becomes clear. Krishna himself will answer that and establish how he is actually the eternal Lord who is master of Vivaswan and everybody. So this is the question. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah kathametad vijaniyam tvamado proktavan iti. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, please read. Okay, let's have somebody else read now. Shri Padamboj Prabhu, you can read.
Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him?
Yeah. So you can see, you understand the question, right? Vivaswan has appeared much, much before you, while you seem to have appeared only in the end of Dwapar Yuga, towards almost end Krishna appeared. So how is that you instructed this science to him? How did you instruct? When did you instruct? Was it in some other form that you instructed? Hmm. Arjuna is an accepted devotee of the Lord, so how could he not believe Krishna's words? The fact is that Arjuna is not inquiring for himself, but for those who do not believe in Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna is asking deliberately so that Krishna can speak about his personality, his eternality, his being the eternal Lord of everyone. So that's why Arjuna inquires. So Krishna, then he speaks, he gives the answer. How Krishna remained the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, the eternal original person, is very difficult for an ordinary man to understand. Therefore, to clarify this point, Arjuna put this question before Krishna so that he himself could speak authoritatively. You understand? Whether you spoke to Vivaswan in this same form of Krishna or did you speak it in some other form? Because we see that you have manifested this form only in the in Dwapar Yuga right now. So then Krishna will answer him. And when Krishna speaks about himself, it is most auspicious for the worlds. See, sometimes people say in Bhagavad Gita, why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? I mean, sometimes commentators are very funny. because they see Krishna as ordinary person. So one of the commentator writes that saying that Krishna is very egoistic God, you know. Commentator says, one of the commentator has written, Krishna is very egoistic. See, all the time he is saying, Manmana bhava mad bhakto, always think of me, Madhyaji, Mam namaskuru, Sarva dharman paritaja, Mam ekam sharanam braja, Aham sarvasya prabhu. You know. So he is thinking, why Krishna is all of the time saying, me? Uh, if Krishna doesn't speak that, how a dull head like us is going to come to know? So it is mercy of Krishna that he is giving his own knowledge by which we understand his position. So sometimes envious souls, you can see, they think like this, that why is Krishna so much me conscious? They don't understand only that he is speaking so that we ignorant fools can understand his position and then become his devotees. You can see Prabhupada also. To the demons, such explanations by Krishna himself may appear to be strange because the demons always study Krishna from their own standpoint. But those who are devotees heartily welcome the statements of Krishna when they are spoken by Krishna himself. Even Arjuna later says to Krishna that, my dear Lord, Shastras speak about your appearance. The great sages speak about your appearance, and you yourself speak about your supremacy. That's why I accept you as the Supreme Lord. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. So he says to Arjuna says to Krishna, sorry, that I accept you because of these three criteria. Who all? The scriptures declare you as Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sages declare you as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you yourself also declared in Bhagavad Gita. So words of Krishna are also very, very important because he is speaking Bhagavad Gita, right? If you ask, if you think that Krishna is an ordinary personality, then why are you studying Bhagavad Gita? The whole premise of Bhagavad Gita is useless if somebody is considering Krishna as an ordinary person, Hmm. Because then, how does it matter then? Uh, So we see that that's why devotees are very happy when Krishna speaks these wonderful statements telling his glory. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvabindam protam sutre manigana eva. So these statements are most auspicious because they are going to destroy our ignorance. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetha parantapa. Yes, Prabhu.
The personality of Godhead said, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy.
Yeah. So Krishna first speaks about something similar that he spoke in second chapter. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipa. Nachaiva na bhavishyamah sarve vayamatah param. So he speaks something like that I and you, Arjuna, have spent many, many births. I have also appeared in many, many appearances, and you have also appeared. Huh? But the thing is, I can remember all of them, my appearances, but you can't remember. Hmm. So, first and foremost, Krishna is showing his omniscience. Huh? He is showing this aspect that he may take hundreds and thousands and unlimited appearances, but he remembers all those appearances very clearly. And this is impossible for a jiva, right? Only Lord can have such a state, such a position where he can remember every single appearance of his. It's not possible for the jivas. In fact, within the same lifetime also, we forget so many things, right? If I ask you, uh, what did you eat in the morning? Some may be scratching the brains. Kya khaya aaj? Some may remember. Okay, what did you eat yesterday morning? Still, some may remember. What did you eat 3 days back? Finished. Nobody can remember, right? It's not possible. Uh, so we see that even within lifetime, we forget so many things. But Krishna is saying, I can remember all my appearances because that's how he is Supreme Lord. But you can't, O Arjuna. So he's speaking to Arjuna like as if Arjuna is a jiva, is a living entity under ignorance. Actually, why Arjuna cannot remember, because Krishna has, by his potency, he has made him forget. I mean, Krishna, by his Yog Maya potency, because of Krishna's desire, Arjuna forgets. Otherwise, Arjuna is a pure devotee. If Lord wants, even Arjuna can be made to remember all different appearances with Krishna that he makes. But point is, especially the living entity which is under ignorance, there is just no question of remembering all the different appearances. So Prabhupada gives the reasons why Krishna never forgets any of his appearances like that. So you can see the difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that Lord remembered the incident whereas Arjuna could not remember. This is the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Lord. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as the mighty hero, he is said to be Parantapa, who can scorch his enemies, who can subdue his enemies. But still, he is unable to recall what had happened in his previous birth. So that's why living entity can never be equal to the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada gives the reason why Krishna remembers everything. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to change of body, but the Lord remembers because he does not change his Satchidananda body. Remember this point. This is a very important point. Because we change the body, then as soon as the body changed, then all the memory of that body disappears, right? We don't remember anything. Even within the body, we forget a lot of things. Like even within the same life, we forget. But still we remember some things, right? But especially one gives up the body, finished then you cannot remember anything. At the time of the death, when the body is taken away, one's memory of that particular body is completely wiped off. Very rarely some reincarnation cases one may remember little bit part of prior life, like some reincarnation cases and all. So that's a very rare exception. And that too, they remember very like little things only. It's not like they will remember everything. That is also one kind of karma actually. One has to undergo that karma and then one remembers. It's a way to sometimes even give suffering actually by making one remember something from past life which is ghastly or like that. One suffers the karma in this life of remembrance of that thing. Imagine somebody who was brutally murdered in prior life or something in the previous life, and he or she remembers those. So those memories will be so much haunting and they will be very miserable, right, for the person. So it's considered to be actually some sort of karma, reincarnation memories and all. It's not considered to be something glorious. But otherwise, change of the body means the jiva forgets. Although subtle body goes, but only impressions go. The particular incidents, they will not be carried. The memory of particular incidents will not be carried in the subtle body. The impressions are carried. Like somebody such a person, somebody was very lusty, or somebody was very greedy, somebody was very angry. So in the subtle body, those impressions get carried. And in the next life, then one continues with those sort of impressions. But in case of Krishna, because he does not change only the body, so he remembers everything. He may appear in various forms, but all those forms, it's not that he's changing that. No, he's just manifesting that form. Krishna never changes his body. So he may appear in prior yuga, and then in the next yuga, he again manifests with the same body. Or you take other incarnations also, like Ramachandra. So Ramachandra, he appeared in a particular Divya Yuga. When next time he appears again with the same body. So the Lord's appearances, because he never undergoes the change of the body, so he also remembers everything. Of course, for Krishna, we know that he's omniscient Lord, so we don't have to even give some logical explanation like this. But yeah, still Prabhupada is making a very valid logical point that because Krishna doesn't change only his Sachidanand body, so it's quite logical that he remembers everything, isn't it? He doesn't undergo the change. So in his prior appearances also, he came in these forms, which are transcendental forms. And in those forms, he has instructed personalities like Vivaswan. And that's how he remembers everything. And he is telling. So Vivaswan, in fact, he may appear, because Vivaswan is also a jiva. Surya Dev bhi ek to jiva hai na. So he may appear at a particular point of time, but Krishna, he is there even before the creation. Even when all the jivas are sleeping in the body of Mahavishnu, Krishna is always there. So when the jivas don't have any body, they're sleeping in Mahavishnu's body, that's it. They are only with, the soul is there and soul is completely in the Sushupti stage. But Krishna is always alert, awake, he's performing his pastimes. So that's why Krishna is telling that I spoke this particular subject matter to Vivaswan. What is so surprising about that? Because I exist eternally. I exist much before Vivaswan. Vivaswan may have appeared only in the beginning of Brahma's day, but I am the one who, my expansion, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, he gives birth to Brahma also. So that's how it is being spoken. In fact, Krishna speaks that his form, he never ever changes. His form is transcendental and his form is eternal. It is coming of his Chit Shakti. It is not some material form which is covered by karma or something. Not at all. So this is a very important verse that is coming, the next verse also, where Krishna shows that my appearance is completely transcendental. My body is completely transcendental. Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swam adhishthaya sambhavamyatma mayaya. Yes, Prabhu.
Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, by my internal energy I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form.
So Krishna is saying, although I am Aja, I am unborn, I never take birth, in the sense that he doesn't take birth like us. How we take birth, because of our own karma, through, we have to enter a mother's womb and then we come out of mother's womb. So Krishna, he does not take birth like that, right? He is a transcendental Lord. When he wants to appear, he appears by his own choice, by his own desire. He's not forced by karma. We are forced by karma. we will see the differences between our and Krishna's appearance. So although Krishna is Aja and he is Avyayatma, meaning his body never undergoes any transformation, does our body undergo transformation or not? It goes. But Krishna's body never undergoes any transformation. It's a transcendental body. उसमें ये सब इफेक्ट नहीं होते, dwindling and producing some byproducts and then degenerating and destroying. No, it's a completely transcendental body. So he is Avyayatma. He is Aja. And he is Bhutanam Ishvara. He is also the master of all the living beings. Right? Somebody may say, in the spiritual world also, everybody is Aja. They don't undergo the birth like conditioned living entities. And they are also Avyayatma. Their also bodies don't undergo the changes. But the third characteristic, Bhutanam Ishvara. I am the master of all the living beings. Can we call the spiritual world's residents as master of all the beings? You cannot. That title is only for Krishna. So you see, Krishna is distinguishing himself by those three words. They are not meaning the same thing. No. Aja, I am unborn. I don't take birth like the living entities. And my body never undergoes any transformation. So somebody may say, yeah, spiritual world's residents are also like that. Yes, but I am Bhutanam Ishvara. I am the master of all the living beings. So although it is so, meaning I am not forced by anyone to appear, but still I appear. Prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavami atmamayaya. I appear in this world by my own potency, atmamayaya. And prakritim swamadhisthaya, which means by taking shelter of my own potency, chit shakti. Meaning my body, I manifest my body as Satchidananda Deha, Atma Mayaya. Krishna does not manifest the body by Maya Shakti, but by Atma Maya. Two words are different, Maya and Atma Maya. Krishna possesses his transcendental energy, Chit Shakti, Satchidananda, and through that he appears in this world. He does not appear like us. Can we say like this, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya? No, because the body that we get is material. It will be undergoing transformation. It will fall apart. And we come by karma. Whatever karma we have, based on that, Krishna will put us, Paramatma will put us into a particular father and mother's custody. And then we are born. We are born with a certain color, with a certain level of intelligence, with a certain level of other bodily capacities, intellectual capacities. ये सब क्यों है ऐसे variety? Why that? That's because of karma. But this is not the way how Krishna appears. He appears swam prakriti madhisthaya. I take shelter of my own transcendental potency and I come here in this world as a transcendental Lord, one who is beyond all material consideration. So it's a very important verse. This verse smashes the ideas of Mayavadis. It actually, Krishna, by using those words like Atma Maya and Prakritim Swam, he is destroying the philosophy of Mayavad. Krishna is saying that I possess Maya, Atma Maya. I am not servant of Maya. She is my servant. So when I appear by my own will. I don't appear by material nature's force like all of the living entities. No. In our case, that word Atma Maya could not have been used. It will be only Maya. Maya Shakti. That's it. But Krishna Atmanaha Maya, Sa Atma Maya. Meri Maya. Krishna is saying Maya, meaning he possesses her. Do we possess Maya? No, Maya possesses her. Maya possesses us. We are under her custody. So it's a very, very important verse. You should memorize this verse because Krishna is very specifically speaking about his own appearance, how he comes in this world in original transcendental form. It's not some mundane form like the living entities, not at all. You can see. The Lord explains his Prakriti or his form. Prakriti means nature as well as Swarupa. So here Krishna is saying, I come in my original Swarupa, whatever is my original form, in that form I come. See, he appears in his own body. He does not change his body as the common living entity changes from one body to another. Why the living entity has to change? Because of karma. By karma, he is ordained to stay in a particular body for some time. As soon as it is over, he is forced, he has to quit the body. You cannot stay. Understand? But is that the way Krishna? No. He is Swachanda. He just Atma Maya. By his own will and desire, he appears. When he wants to wind up his pastime, he goes away. That's the thing. So these words become very important. Prakritim Swam. Swam Prakritim. Matlab meri Prakriti. My own Swarupa, my nature. Also Atma Maya, meaning that Maya belongs to me. I am her master. So that is Atma Maya. By my internal energy. In the material world, nobody can say like this. No, not at all. So Krishna appears in his transcendental form, and Prabhupada says that Krishna, he appears. Anybody, does any of you know how much was Krishna's age when he was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Are you aware of? Yes.
Prabhuji,
It was
120.
125. 125, Prabhuji?
125,
90 years?
90. Okay. So, Nitin Prabhu, yeah, you are very close. It was 89 years. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was 89 years old. And when he was leaving this world, he was 125 years old. So probably some of you who said 125 may have got confused with that digit, because that was the age of Krishna when he was leaving the world. He lived for 125 years. This is the reference is there in third canto, you can see. So 125 years Krishna lived totally. But 36 years before Krishna left, there was this battlefield of Kurukshetra. So 125 minus 36, 89. So at the age of 89, Krishna, he appears like a 16-year-old boy. I mean, this is amazing, right? Because Krishna, he manifests his. See, when Krishna appears in this world, he also grows up to certain age. So once Krishna's appearance becomes of a 16-year-old boy, no, then he never ever grows beyond that. Because that's his eternal form. So he manifests that. उसके बाद में कितने भी साल भगवान रहे, वो he will look 16 years old only. So Krishna, when he became 10 years of age, no, so then he manifested that 16 years old form. What do you say? Krishna is not even manifesting that 16-year-old boy's beauty when he is actually becoming 16-year-old. No, he's very much ahead of time. He's a precocious child, as they say. So Krishna was 10 years old only in Vraja, but he would look like a 16-year-old boy at the age of 10 years. That's Krishna's, form. That's how it is. So practically speaking, Krishna, after 10 years or 11 years, Krishna, how much ever time he spent in the material world, his form was same only. 16-year-old boy. It's the fresh youth, like how 16-year-old boy, it's considered to be a very youthful, right, person. So similarly, Krishna is like that. So that's the form he manifests. So even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was 89 years old. Still, he was like that, this way. So this is his transcendental form. This is his original form, and he manifests this form every time he appears. No, he manifests the same form. He does not give up the body. Krishna does not give up the body. He only manifests and unmanifests the form. प्रकट करना बोलते हैं उसको हिंदी में. वो प्रकट करते हैं और अप्रकट करते हैं. Like that. That's how. In other incarnations also, same thing. Vamana or Nrsimha, they manifest the form and they unmanifest the form. Other incarnation, Ramachandra, all of them, these are all transcendental incarnations. So they never change the body. They appear in that same form. In their scheduled incarnations, they appear in the same form. So Krishna never ages beyond the youth. That's it. A 16-year-old boy only he will look all the while, even when he was giving up his Leela and going back to spiritual world, still he appeared 16 years old. When he had grandchildren, great-grandchildren, even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna had so many grandchildren and all. But still, so that's his Swarupa. That's called Prakritim Swam. Usko bolte ho. So finally, Prabhupada says, factually, his appearance and disappearance are like the sun's rising and then sun setting. So somebody may say, oh, sun was created at the beginning of moonrise, and then when sun went, then one may say sun got destroyed. That I'm saying somebody who is a naive person doesn't know. But we know that sun has only risen and sun has set. It's not that sun is created and sun is destroyed. No. Similarly, when Krishna appears, it's like the sunrise. When Krishna departs, it's like the sunset. What he has done is, he has only gone away from our visibility, our perception, but he is there. He is performing pastime in some other universe. This way. In the same form that he has. For us also, we are also eternal, you may say. But when we give up our body, it's not that we appear in the same body. No. Then based on our karma, we will appear in the another body. But this doesn't happen with Krishna. He never changes his body. He has a transcendental form which remembers everything. He is omniscient, sarvajna. And that body does not undergo any transformations. It is completely his own choice with which he appears. So you can see this aspect is spoken here also in the PPT. Differences between Krishna and the conditioned living entity. So you can remember based on these two verses. Krishna, he is eternal and remembers past, present, future. The conditioned living entity also eternal, but forgets. Remembers all births because body does not change or deteriorate, avyayam. But conditioned living entities forgets because body changes and deteriorates. Appears by own will, Krishna. Do we appear by our own will? No. We are forced to appear by karma. Krishna's body is transcendental, our body is material. Krishna's body, no difference between body and self, Advaita, but we have soul, and then over that there is a subtle body, and over that there is a gross body. So many. We have two kinds of bodies, gross and subtle. But our real identification is soul. So these are the differences you can see. in conditioned soul and the living entity and Krishna. So Krishna is declaring all these differences here. Huh? That's why this section is very, very important, because it is establishing Krishna's position. Huh? Arjuna's question is very important because Krishna is establishing these facts. And that personality is giving this knowledge. So the glory of that knowledge is being established by the one who is speaking it. Huh? It is not coming from some fertile brain of some ordinary human being. No, this knowledge is completely free from all defects. It's the transcendental knowledge. So this is the point. So this is how Krishna appears in this world in his transcendental form, completely free from all material transformations, nothing. So when does he appear? That's the next two verses, very popular verses. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutthanamадharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham. I will also read the next verse. Together you can read the translation. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Yes, Prabhu.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Yes. So, most popular verses, especially this one, most popular verse of Bhagavad Gita. Yada yada hi dharmas. Everybody will quote this verse. In India, even now, people know. So, when do I appear? Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati. Whenever there is decline of religion, O Arjuna, I appear. Abhyutthanam adharmasya, and a rise, subsequent rise of irreligion. Then Atmanam Srijami. The way Krishna speaks is also the reason why Mayavadis sometimes interpret these words. See, what does Krishna say? Aham Atmanam Srijami. I create myself. Meaning, if you go very literally, सृजामी मतलब क्रिएट, आत्मानम मतलब खुद को, अहम मतलब I create myself. So that's why sometimes Bhagavad Gita explanations is not that easy also, because then you will take some words like this and somebody may misinterpret. But that's when we were talking text and context. You have to speak on the basis of text and context. You can't just take the words. There is a way to speak Sanskrit language, but it very much also depends upon the context. Just before two verses, I mean, in the last two verses, Krishna has already established that I am an eternal person and I come in my self-same form, right? So when he says, Aham Atmanam Srajami, I bring forth myself or I create myself, obviously it means that he manifests himself. It doesn't mean that he's creating his body or something. There's no question of creation of Krishna's body because it is eternal. It's not like us. Our body gets created. Jayate, then, asti stays for some time, and then vardhate, it grows. Viparinamate, it undergoes the transformation. Then apakshiyate, undergoes the disintegration. Vinashyati, finished. But does that happen with Krishna's body? No. So Atmanam Srijami, some Mayavadi commentators have taken it to mean that, you see, so Krishna is saying that, yes, he also creates his form is not eternal. That means that he is basically also, like they take these words to mean that he is also like a conditioned soul, but just a special, extraordinary conditioned soul. Like that they say he is not like, he is very special. He is a very wise conditioned soul. So you can see these guys, what they have got to do with Bhagavad Gita, if they are thinking Krishna also to be like just a wise man, they think him. They don't accept him as not different than the Supreme Brahman, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is saying here that I manifest myself, मैं खुद को प्रकट करता हूँ. Whenever there is the decline of religion and there is rise of a religion, I come at that point. Prabhupada also focuses on that Srijami word, because indeed that Srijami word has become cause of a lot of impersonal commentators. Srijami cannot be used in the sense of creation, because according to previous verse, there is no creation of Lord's form or body. Swam adhisthaya, right? Swam prakritim. I come in my own swarupa, original swarupa, that which I possess. Since all of the forms are eternally existent, therefore Srijami means the Lord manifests himself as he is. Srijami here means prakatayami. मैं खुद को प्रकट करता हूं. Meaning he is already there and he manifests himself. This way. Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of Dwapar Yuga, of the 28th millennium, of the 7th Manu, he has no obligation. Krishna is telling, these are the times when I appear. So although typically Lord Krishna, who is the original Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, he appears at a fixed time. But it is not that he has to appear on a fixed time. No. He, wherever this happens, he can appear in that manner as per his will. Especially in Kali Yuga, Lord does not appear. He is known as Tri Yuga. Except only when Lord Chaitanya appears, which is again the Kali Yuga of the 28th Chatur Yuga of the 7th Manu. In one day of Brahma, Lord Chaitanya appears. So that is the only time when Lord appears, Bhagavan appears in Kali Yuga. Otherwise, in other Chatur Yugas, Bhagavan never appears in Kali Yuga. Who appears? Some special living entities who are empowered by the Lord, they appear. So in Kali Yuga, only when Lord Chaitanya appears, that is a Bhagavan appearing. Otherwise, all other times, the living entity only appears. Like Buddha is a living entity. Kalki is a living entity. When it is not Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then even that Yuga Avatar is a living entity. Every time he is living entity only. That's why it is mentioned that Lord is known as Tri-Yugi. So why does he not appear in Kali Yuga? Yeah, it's considered that Kali Yuga is considered to be a very condemned age. So Lord does not appear in this, but Lord's merciful devotees appear, or Lord's other incarnations appear. As far as Krishna is concerned, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they appear one after another. Krishna appears in 7th Manvantara's 28th Chatur Yuga. In the end of Dwapar, Krishna appears. In every day of Brahma. One day of Brahma, you saw, there are 1,000 Chatur Yugas, right? In that, there are 7, you can see in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manvantaras. So, in the 7th Manvantara, in the 7th Manvantara's 28th cycle, in that Dwapar Yuga's end, original Krishna appears. And in the Kali Yuga after that, original Lord Chaitanya appears. Apart from those two yugas, in all other times, basically Krishna's expansion appears. Original Krishna, he does not appear. And obviously, there are other incarnations which appear. They keep on coming also. So that's why Prabhupada is saying here that Krishna has no obligation, although he has taken one sort of scheduled appearance, but still he doesn't have an obligation. He wants, he can appear anytime. Or he can make his other expansions appear. Like he keeps on doing that. Other expansions like Nrsimha, Vamana, all of them appear. Hmm. Nrsimha appears also once in a day of Brahma. Vamana appears thrice in day of Brahma. Meena appears 14 times in day of Brahma. So like that, these different incarnations also have their frequencies when they appear. But the purpose is, yes, whenever there is predominance of religiosity, disappearance of true religion, you may say, why is not Lord appearing now? The point is, Lord Chaitanya just appeared 500 years back. But secondly, also, that in Kali Yuga, it is not, I mean, Lord does not appear in Kali Yuga so much, except for this particular Kali Yuga. So he appears in Kali Yuga in terms of other forms, like he appears in the form of holy name, and he appears in the form of other Shaktyavesh avatars, like different avatars, Kalki, or before that, the Kali Yuga's avatar, Shaktyavesh avatar, Yuga avatar, in that fashion, this way. So this is the purpose of his appearance. And when he appears, then he establishes the dharma. So that's why Prabhupada brings up the discussion of dharma. He says that the purpose of the Vedas is to establish such principles under the order of the Supreme Lord. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Actually, Krishna comes and he establishes the proper dharma by giving the proper knowledge and establishing the proper order. This is his purpose why he comes. So all these different incarnations also, it applies to them also. They also come with this specific purpose. That way. You can see each and every avatar or incarnation of the Lord has a particular mission, and they are all described in the revealed scriptures. No one should be accepted as an avatar unless he is referred by the scriptures. So each one of these avatars, they have the general purposes for which they appear. And how do you know that something is avatar of the Lord? So Prabhupada would say 3 criteria. And remember these 3 criteria. How to judge an incarnation of the Lord? Because in Kali Yuga, so many people say, I am also Lord, right? When I was there in Bangalore working, there were 5 or 6 Yeah, so probably it's a sign of, yeah, we should end. Now it should be fine. I think now you can hear. Yes. So, yeah, I'm just stopping only. So, 3 criteria of an incarnation. Hmm. First is that the incarnation should be mentioned in the Shastra. Hmm. Incarnation has to be mentioned in the Shastra, like Prabhupada says here, right? No one should be accepted as an avatar unless he is referred by the scriptures. Hmm. So, this is one criterion Prabhupada speaks. He also speaks second criteria that the avatar should have some specific signs on their hand and their feet, right? Like Krishna, Rama, we know that they have particular signs on their feet. Nrsimha, Vamana, Krishna, Rama, all of them have the particular signs like elephant god or Shankha, Chakra, all these signs are there. Krishna has also uh, almost 18, 19 signs on his feet. Uh, so that's the second criterion. Uh, it's naturally there, huh? Not like somebody is putting mehendi or something. Not like that Poundrak Vasudeva. He had put some artificial, Shankha Chakra, because he had only two hands, but he put some artificial hands. And in that he also put Shankha Chakra, and they used to shake like this wherever he go. Must be a funny sight. Uh, so that's the point. So that's second. And third one is the incarnation should also perform great acts. Uh, the incarnation should perform some superhuman acts like Krishna performed, Rama performed. Uh, Krishna showed Vishwarupa. So that's one criterion. Any incarnation should show Vishwarupa. Otherwise, what kind of incarnation is that? No, no, I can show Vishwarupa, but you can't see. Okay, then give me Divya Drishti. Why not? Krishna gave Divya Drishti to Arjuna, right? So you also give me Divya Drishti. Uh, so this is the third criterion. But people consider somebody as Bhagwan if their stomachache goes away. Such a pathetic ignorance, right? People say that मैं इस व्यक्ति के पास गया और मेरा पेट दर्द सालों का पेट दर्द खत्म हो गया. So that's why I accept him as Bhagwan. What a sad state, right? पेट दर्द हो रहा है तो अच्छे डॉक्टर के पास जाओ. Why you are going and thinking that somebody who has cured my stomach ache or knee ache or whatever is Bhagwan? No. So all these Bhagwanas, they also come to give the dharma only. Sometimes they may give higher aspects of that dharma. Sometimes they may give some lower aspects of dharma. So for that purpose, Prabhupada says this. 2 plus 2 equals to 4 is a mathematical principle that is true in the beginner's arithmetic class and in the advanced class also. Still, there are higher and lower mathematics. We have people who understand mathematics very nicely here. So there are higher and higher and lower mathematics, right? There is clay mathematics they talk about. Very notorious problems in clay mathematics and all that. So we see that all the incarnations also, when they teach the dharma, so they teach the same principles, but they may teach sometimes higher or lower. Like Buddha comes. So Buddha is also an incarnation, but Buddha gives a very basic kind of religion. Ahimsa, just don't do unnecessary hinsa, or rather stop all kind of hinsa. So that's a very basic kind of explanation of dharma. So it's like 2 plus 2 equal to 4. But when Krishna comes, then he gives the highest explanation of dharma. Krishna speaking dharma or Rama speaking dharma, we see that they give such a high explanation of dharma. Especially Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, that's the greatest message in terms of the teachings of Sanatan Dharma. Isn't it? So that's why Prabhupada is saying all different incarnations, they come and establish Dharma, but you also have to see that are they teaching the lower level or are they teaching higher level? So we respect all incarnations, we respect all forms of Lord, but we also have to see what is the purpose of that incarnation, at what level that incarnation is addressing the Dharma. So the highest aspect of that Dharma is revealed in teachings of Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, where he speaks about Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraj. Just surrender unto me. That's the highest goal of life. This way. So there is sometimes some people in India, Sanatanis, they have this idea, हाँ सब ठीक है, सब देवता वही बता रहे, भगवान कृष्ण भी वही बोल रहे, माता दुर्गा भी वही बता रही है. So we also respect all devatas, no doubt about it. We should not disrespect any devata, no question. They are all servants of Krishna. But that doesn't mean that every devata or every incarnation of the Lord is giving the same teaching. That will be foolishness to think like that. No. There is taratamya, there is gradation. So devatas means Mishra Bhakti. It is not Shuddha Bhakti. देवता मतलब मिश्र भक्ति होती है वो. They perform मिश्र भक्ति towards Krishna. They want the post position and they also want to please Krishna. Some specific devatas may be very special, like Brahma is a pure devotee or Shiva is most exalted. He is in fact himself Ishvara also. But he is also himself takes the role of devotee of Vishnu, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. But Shiva is not an ordinary living entity. Shiva is Ishvara Tattva actually. So this idea Sanatanis sometimes don't understand. They feel like Ganesha bhi theek hai, sab theek hai, acha hai. That way. No. You may understand, yes, there are different paths, different... See, Prabhupada is making a distinction even between the teachings of Lord's incarnation. What to speak of Devata? Aap socho. Devatas are even in fact below because they don't come in the category of Vishnu Tattva. So even in the Vishnu Tattva's teaching, sometimes you may see some higher and lower level. So forget about others, right? The Devatas they're teaching or they're demonstrating a much lower principle compared to the Shuddha Bhakti. This way. So there are times where we show our unity as the follower of Sanatan Dharma, but there are internal scenarios where we also show our distinction. We are not just yet another follower of Sanatan Dharma, no. We want to follow that highest teaching of Sanatan Dharma, which is Shuddha Bhakti, this way. So we'll just take this next verse and then stop because this is additionally speaking about the purpose. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So when I come millennium after millennium, yuga after yuga, Krishna says, I protect the sadhus, I destroy the miscreants, and I establish the dharma. So what is this protection of sadhus actually? So it can mean literally protection of sadhus, but it also means that he protects the sadhus from the separation that they feel from Krishna. Krishna destroys the separation of the sadhus. Prahlad was feeling great separation from the Lord, so Narasimha appeared and he protected him from that viraha agni, that separation, fire of separation, but he also protected him from this externally from this demon Hiranyakashipu. So that is Lord Sadhunam Paritranaya. In fact, Krishna primarily comes to reciprocate with his devotees. That's his real purpose, because all these other things like Vinashaya, Dushkritam and all, he can do from even in the spiritual world, no? Why he has to come down to kill Hiranyakashipu? He can have Hiranyakashipu get a heart attack and die. That's it, finished. Right? Can he not do that? Hiranyakashipu, tuck, khatam, heart attack. No. But why is he coming down to kill him? Because that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is actually to reciprocate with his devotee. Especially in case of Hiranyakashipu, there is also this history that Lord wanted to fight, and that's why Jai Vijay took the role that way. But that is Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha killing only for this particular pastime. Other times when Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu come, these demons are not Jai Vijay that time in other yugas. They are actually demons. And Lord actually comes to kill them this way. All these tattvas, don't get confused over them. See, Jai Vijay coming as Hiranyaksh Hiranyakashipu is a one-off incident. It's not like वो बेचारे जय विजय आते ही रहते हैं युग आफ्टर युग, डीमन बन के, ऐसा नहीं होता है। इट इज वन ऑफ इंसिडेंट, इट हैपेंड वंस लाइक दैट। इन अदर युगस, when Narsimha appears and kills Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, he actually is fighting with the demons called Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. They're not Jai Vijay there. But the last Leela that we saw of Hiranyaksha and Narsimha and Varaha, there Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu were actually Jai Vijay, who desired to fight with the Lord this way. So, to destroy the demons and to re-establish the religious principle, Krishna says, I come yuga after yuga. So this can refer to Sri Krishna, or this can refer to other incarnations of Krishna also. If you refer it to Sri Krishna, then yuga yuga would mean actually in Brahma's day, that particular yuga, which is 7th Manvantara's 28th Divya Yuga. That would be the meaning of yuge yuge. हर युग में नहीं आते कृष्ण. I'm giving some deeper perspective to this verse. युगे युगे का अर्थ क्या है? If you take Krishna, does Krishna appear in every yuga? No, he doesn't appear in every yuga. He appears only in once in day of Brahma. So that yuge yuge, that meaning Vishwanath Chakravarti says, it is basically once in a day of Brahma. But because this verse, it can be taken also generically to mean other incarnations also. Krishna may not appear every yuga, but he sends his other incarnations. He sends personalities, other personalities, Vamana, Nasimha. Even Nasimha appears once for that matter. But yeah, the other personalities like Vamana or Meena or Kurma. So they appear in different yugas. The yuga avatars appear in different yugas. So yuge yuge can mean also those incarnations which are yuga avatars. This whole avatar tattva, don't worry, it's a big topic also. So as and when you go ahead, you will learn deeper about 6 kind of avatars are there. Some of you may be knowing also many things. But yeah, yuge yuge here, basically, if we are taking it to mean Krishna, so it means that yeah, Krishna appears once in day of Brahma, in that Dwapar Yuga, which is 28th Chatur Yuga of the 7th Manvantara, this way. So Krishna primarily comes to deliver the sadhus actually, and that's his purpose. Destruction of demons he can do in any way. He is not so much interested in that. He can do it even sitting in the spiritual world. But he very much loves his devotees, so he comes to reciprocate with them, please them, give him darshan, give the darshan to the devotees, and then in this way he can please them. That's it. So Ravana and Kamsa, such demons are killed by the Lord when he appears this way. So Prabhupada gives this aspect of incarnations appearing to do all these things. There are various kinds of avatars: Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Lila avatars, Shaktiavesh, Manvantar Yuga. These are the 6 kinds of incarnations. This way. The Lord says that he incarnates himself in every millennium. So he comes in the age of Kali also. Of course, we know that he comes in the age of Kali also once in day of Brahma only. But that famous incarnation or Lord is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we are fortunate that we appear into that same Kali Yuga in which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So you can see, after this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will appear only in the next day of Brahma. So it's a great fortune that we have, right? Just 500 years back, Prabhupada would say like this. केवल 500 साल पहले, just 500 years before Lord Chaitanya appeared, and we happen to be in the same Kali Yuga in which Lord Chaitanya has appeared and given this process of Sankirtana. So that's how it's a great fortune. Now for the next 999 Chatur Yugas, Lord Chaitanya and Krishna will not appear only after 999 Chatur Yugas. The next day of Brahma's, this particular scheduled Chatur Yuga will come, then Krishna and Lord Chaitanya will appear. So it's special, no? It's so wonderful. So this is how, like that. Okay, so these are the purposes of his appearance. And there is one more purpose, which is the last one, but yeah, that has some discussion. So let's pause here. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Granth Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, any of you need to leave, please go ahead. If someone has any questions, you can ask. And then we will pause for today. As far as the topic, as far as the schedule of completing reminders of chapters, then I think Braj Prakash Prabhu can comment on that. Or we can schedule later and let everyone know. One more session at least for fourth chapter, then one for fifth, and two for sixth. So we need actually 4 sessions still. And then if I have to give you one session for yoga ladder, so that will be additional. But that can be done later also. First, we will complete the 6 chapters. I think that is the main priority because your exams and all, everything depends on that. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, now this universe is created by Chatushmukha Brahma. And in this universe, there is one sun, one moon, and one Bhuloka, where humans and all living entities are there. So, how about other universes? There are humans, or these 84 lakh species are different in those, or how we have to understand this?
Yeah, certainly, Prabhu. In every universe, there are humans, because these 84 lakh species and especially these aspects, they are said to be common in entire creation. They are not said to be common in only in this Brahmanda. So it means that these things are there in other Brahmandas also. But then, as far as the structure of other Brahmandas and all that is concerned, Shastras don't speak so much about it. There is not much information about it. So sometimes when you don't have much information, so you can't speak also about it, right? So some generic info is there, yes, 84 lakh species do exist everywhere in the entire creation, completely in all different Brahmandas. That aspect is there. But our Brahmanda structure, certain structure is there, like we know there is Bhumandala, and on that Bhumandala, there are these 9 dvipas and all that. Whether this same structure will be in other Brahmand, not necessarily, not necessarily. Even though the appearances of the Lord in those other Brahmandas, you don't hear much about them. Primarily Bhagavatam or Puranas are speaking about the appearances taken in this particular Brahmanda. Sometimes, rarely, you hear about some Leela where you find a different detail. So then there the Shastra will say that basically this pastime did not happen in this Brahmanda. It happened in some other Brahmanda. So that way. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we hear something like that where a different Lord Krishna called all different Brahmas. He wanted to show to Chaturmukh Brahma how insignificant you are. So he did that. But then, yeah, this sort of stories, very rarely they are spoken about other Brahmandas. You don't get to hear much. So that's the thing. So if we don't know, then we can't speculate also, right? This way. We can speak to the degree as much as it is spoken, that much. That's it. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else has any question on these 8 verses that were?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam.
Anurad Pranam.
Prabhuji, in the Parampara system, now we write Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyasa. But when in the 4.1, so why don't we mention Vivaswan and Manu in the Parampara?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that that is a different tradition. It's a tradition of Rajarshis, Prabhu. Uh, it's a tradition. See, the tradition that we have is considered to be the tradition of rishis, sages. What you are quoting, Brahma, then Narada, Vyasa, Madhvacharya. This is considered with the tradition of sages, Rishi Parampara. While what Krishna is speaking is Rajarshi Parampara. So the Acharyas have commented there that it's a different parampara. Uh, although it is giving the same knowledge, but it's a parampara of Rajarshis instead of the Rishis. So here in our parampara, you can see that all are personalities which are basically the sages, sage-like personalities, acharyas. They're not kings and all. There nobody's a king there or something. But this is a different parampara called parampara of Rajarshis. So sometimes Shastras give different paramparas also in which that knowledge was disseminated. So we don't include because it's a different parampara, although giving the same knowledge, but yeah, parampara of Rajarshis.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anything else? Okay then. All right then. I wish you all the best for your Karthik programs. So today only we were discussing how this Samahata Kalena Yogo Nashta Parantapa, right? If we don't share this knowledge, if we don't learn it and keep it and share it, then it will be lost in oblivion. So Kartik month is a very, Damodar month is a very, very powerful time where we can share this knowledge through Deepdan programs and also other Krishna Katha programs that we can have. It's a month to intensify our spiritual practice, take some sankalpa, and do some special additional devotional service. What we are doing normally is fine, but we can take some sankalpas. So devotees take sankalpas in terms of additional rounds of chanting Hare Krishna, or reading Bhagavatam, reading Krishna Lila, reading Krishna book, at certain number of chapters I will read daily, or I will chant these many rounds extra daily. Uh, I will every day get up for Mangalarti. I'll not miss any day in the Kartik. This way. Kartik, we should not miss Mangalarti. Huh? No way. I mean, not even otherwise, but yeah, sometimes sickness or something may be there. But in Kartik, we can strive at least, no matter what. And then if you can visit Vrindavan, fantastic. That's the most recommended thing also, to visit Vrindavan. But even if you can't visit, you can visit through your consciousness, uh, by discussing Krishna Katha, by discussing all these wonderful leelas that Krishna has done in the 10th canto, this way. And then, of course, all other preaching activities, speaking, inspiring people to chant Hare Krishna, distributing Prabhupada's books, all those aspects are there. So it's a month to especially remember Damodar intensely. Damodar meaning I am saying Krishna in general. It's like you can utilize it to directly hear about Krishna, directly read about Krishna, especially that way. So Bhagavatam and all, very wonderful to read. Krishna book, very, very good uh, for this month. So many devotees finish, entire Krishna book in this, or they finish even 10th canto of Vrindavan pastimes, especially if you have read other cantos also. If you haven't read, then better, you can read Krishna book. Prabhupada writes very nicely there. But if you have read other cantos of Bhagavatam, it may be good to also read some beautiful 10th cantos, first few chapters, or like that. So anyway, I'm sure each one of you is already planning like that. And of course, you have very exemplary person also leading all of you, uh, devotees like Braj Prakash Prabhu and all other devotee leaders there. We know Yashomati Nandan Prabhu and all of them. So let's immerse ourselves in Krishna for this 1 month and then get benefited as much as possible. For those of you who are coming to Vrindavan, we will also get to meet. Yes. So, rest of the schedule, when it will be clear, it will be shared with all of you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.